So today we take your calls and interpret your dreams. And our symbol this week is actually going to be a few. We're going to talk about the symbols that indicate writing. Welcome to So You Think You're Awake, the show about dreams and their meanings. I'm Michael Sheridan, and with me in studio is Heidi Brooke, our resident medium, and Susan Pullen, our life coach and healer.
Hello.
Heidi never says hello.
Well, I never know when to.
It's usually right after your name. I have finally persuaded Heidi to do a course to teach people how to channel. And we have lots of people who have asked us, or asked her via me, to do that by writing into the show. So January 22nd, this is something to take advantage of because we've been trying to persuade Heidi to do this for years. Okay, thanks to everyone who sent dreams to RadioShow at dream-analysis.com. Please continue to send them in, as we always need them for the show. You can always jump the queue and call us on 425-373-5527. That's 425-373-5527. And I repeated it for Heidi because she said she particularly wants you to call in with questions for your guides, because she's just in that mood.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
All right. So we are going to cover symbols for writing. And the reason we're doing that is because my book comes out on Sunday. It is officially launched on the 17th. And I asked everybody last week to go to dream-analysis.com and put in your email address, and you'll be notified when how to pick up the book for free. And about 4 days later, I noticed that I didn't have the form on that web page for you to put in the email address. So that was actually a test, and you have passed. But if you go back to it today, dream-analysis.com, there is a form, and you can put in your email address, and you will be told when the book is out. Because it's only free for 3 days. That's the way Amazon do it. They don't let you make it free for any extended period of time. So anyway, that's good. So symbols for writing. And there's not really much to say in this. The very obvious one is a pen or a pencil to dream about. Usually people dream about a gigantic pen or a special pen that can do all sorts of fancy writing and wide filling, that sort of thing. Or dream about a pen shop. But you can also dream about a poet or a writer as a guide in your dream. And that would indicate you have that ability too. And then something that would be less obvious would be a tattoo, to dream of a tattoo, because a tattoo is creative writing and it's on your body typically. It would indicate that this is part of your makeup or being, and that you probably are a poet more so than a prose writer because of the creative writing.
Is that always what tattoos are about?
Not necessarily. But we did have a dream on the show where somebody printed out a page and it had a copy of their tattoo on it. And it was because of the printing and so on that made it be that. And one that is less obvious and probably not very common in America is going to be to dream of an articulated truck. What's an articulated truck? Any idea? I'm asking the American. You can't tell, but I'm staring at the American.
An articulated truck, not an articulated bus, but a truck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Like a semi with a trailer?
That's it, exactly.
Okay. All right.
But usually in these dreams, the trailer is probably going to be a flatbed or something that's completely open as opposed to having cargo on it. Doesn't have to be, but it's the pun on articulation, to articulate something, because that's what a writer does. They channel and articulate. Not necessarily channel, but they articulate. That's what they have to do. Ponder how they're going to say something. Go on, I can see you have something smart, Heidi.
Literally writing in your dream? Because I know there's a lot of famous writers that say that they came up with the story from their dreams.
Okay.
So
yes.
I was curious about that actually being a symbol, or
Yes, that's correct. One, if you're writing in your dream, and Susan asked me to collect 2 dreams of mine that indicated writing, which I've done. One flattering and one not so flattering. And,
keep a balance.
And but yeah, so to write in a dream indicates that. It's a very obvious one. So why would it indicate it? Because whatever we do, we have a lot of skills and things that we do and use in everyday waking life. But the things that we have that we don't use, we tend to use them in our dreams. So writing in your dreams means that you're not writing enough in waking life.
Oh,
and it's straightforward like that. One that's more common for people is to dream of exercising, because we don't exercise enough in waking
I
life.
hate those dreams.
You see?
I'm just joking.
So the dreams try to give us a balance. So they're the easiest ones to interpret. So let's have a look at...
What about a frosting pen? A special pen made for writing on cakes with frosting.
Yeah, that would work. But it's saying that it's a gift you brought with you. Did you have that dream?
Yeah.
Very good. It's a gift you brought with you because it's going to be written on a birthday cake. Or you should be writing about your celebrations. Were you thinking of blogging? You were thinking of... You do blog. You do blog.
Well, I was thinking of actually doing it.
Having some structure to it.
Yeah. More regular practice, let's say.
You had to lie down till the idea went away. A friend of mine says anytime he gets the urge to exercise, he lies down till it goes away. So we have a caller. We have to give Eric time to get the caller queued up. So we have Sherry in Canada calling. And
Hi there.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi, everybody.
So
nice to talk to you again.
You have a question. You primed us and said you had a question for Heidi. So
I do. Actually, you know what? If it's permitted, I have two questions. Otherwise, I'll just keep it to one.
Certainly, of course.
When they're for Heidi, you can have as many as you want.
I'll get you back, Michael.
Susan and I will play tiddlywinks.
Okay, go ahead.
Two focuses in my life right now. There's my career, and I'm working towards starting my own business, and made some decisions recently around that. And the second area is around unlocking my natural spiritual abilities. So my first question is, am I on the right path and making the right decisions for my career, or am I sabotaging it?
Okay, so your questions are kind of, your guides are saying that you can combine them. So, of course, you are on the right path, but you're being held up by your health issues. Because you can't succeed in life without a healthy body. It's vital, especially in the spiritual field. We need to have the vessel working on its full capacity to deliver our spiritual abilities to other people on the planet. And so there's, if you don't mind, can I say what the health issue is that they're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the digestive system.
Yeah.
And you need to have, the beauty of it is they're saying it can be healed, and it's certainly you're on the right path to getting it healed. And so you need to focus on that. And I'm sure you've heard before that, you know, your guides and your angels and your higher self do like to focus on one thing at a time. So that should be your focus for right now. It's not that you're not on the right path. It's that you're kind of being delayed by this a little bit. And you need to just wholly focus on your health and clearing your health. But the aspect of cutting the ties with the person you're cutting the ties with, that needs to remain, but you can't. They're reminding you not to step away from that. You need to keep doing what you're doing, but wait until your health is better to close off that process, and then take your next step on the path. Does that make sense to you?
It does. So really, I shouldn't overstress about my career decisions that I'm making right now, that things will fall into place if I focus on them?
Things will fall into place as you alleviate your digestive system issues. And the stress will actually contribute to your ailment. And so they really would like you to just set your worries about your career aside, if you could. Easier said than done. But it's going to work out. There's no one saying it's not. What you're thinking of doing is what you're supposed to do. It's just not coming together now because they want you to be in optimum health. And I say they, but your higher self, you want you to be in optimum health. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Does that cover it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
She called you ma'am. Thank you for calling.
Thanks, Sherry.
Okay. So we have a lot of dreams, actually. So we start into them.
Yes. So let me share the comment from this listener first. It says, first of all, I love your show. I've been a fan of Michael Sheridan since around 2009 when I purchased his book from Ireland. At the time, I was told I was the first from LA to order. I'm proud of this and, of course, think it was very meant to be. I love my dream analysis book and have 2 copies and 1 for my Kindle. I do too, actually. I think your show is a gift, and I love the other 2 hosts too. Thank you for putting your bright lights together to share your gifts with all of us. So thank you very much for the comment. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So on to your dream. I was wandering through dark streets. They were streets I did not know, but in the community I live in.
Okay, so straight away when you see the dark streets, it's the same as saying, her also saying, I don't know, streets I don't know. It means that she doesn't know where she is. She can't see where she's going. And that's all that the dark at the start of a dream typically represents. And the reason I'm interrupting this dream as you go through it is because it's very long. People will have forgotten the start if I don't.
Then next thing I know, I was in my car.
Karma.
It's my red burgundy Mazda GLC hatchback from my teenage years.
So it's bringing you back to your teenage years, so you got to deal with something at those years.
It's my very first car. I'm in it, and then I'm suddenly taking a shower in the front seat. Yes, I'm standing up. Silly, I know, but it's a dream. I'm aware that I'm naked in my car taking a shower when a man stares at me. I have mixed emotions about how I feel, but know I look out of place. I look down at my breast, and surprise to me, they're covered with a black tank top, and I can see a multicolored jog bra underneath. I had thought I was naked, so I'm relieved, but still begin to realize that it's not cool and very weird to be showering in public. Not that I am in public, I'm in the car, but I'm in a place that everyone can see.
Okay. Hard to interrupt you because you don't take breaths, Susan. Take breaths. Breathe. All right. So here, taking the shower, when we see, okay, it's bringing her back to her teenage years, and then taking the shower is really good in the dream because that's already in the dream is cleansing for issues that were picked up at that age. So we can already say this dream is actually suiting its purpose because she doesn't stop showering. And then we have a man looking in at her and she thinks she's naked but then discovers she's not. Now, being naked would be better in the dream because what she says she's wearing is a black tank top, and black is never a good colour in a dream. It symbolises fear, resentment, hatred, guilt. It's one of those things that doesn't have any redeeming features. Nothing to do with skin colour. White alone in a dream is also bad. So here she says she has a multicoloured jog bra on underneath. That would be really good. To have that in the dream is good. So it's saying, okay, fears, because the black we're going to say is representing fears. Fears hold you back from showing your true nature, which is much more colourful and nurturing. So breasts have to do with nurturing, just like they do in reality. That's what they symbolise in a dream. So you are a nurturer. You are somebody who helps other people in a very compassionate way. Like you get to know them and you push them along and help them. So have I covered enough of that? So it's about cleansing issues with teenage years. Okay, we'll continue on because I think there's more comes up in the dream.
So the showering in the car, she says, it's at the beach, by the way, and I'm on a street just adjacent to where everyone accesses the sand to hang out. People are walking all around with towels and surfboards. It's a nice sunny beach day. So I stop, but I realize I have not really finished as I never applied conditioner, and this is not pleasing to me. I'm stressed about that.
Okay, so she's cleaning, so she's talking about obviously cleaning her hair here, washing her hair, and applying conditioning. That is exactly what you don't want to do in a dream. You want to remove conditioning. And we talk about this all the time. Dreams will bring you back to childhood and ask you to remove conditioning that you picked up. So here, it's like you got conditioning in childhood and you want to reapply it. So that's what the dream is saying you're doing. So something you're doing in waking life has you reinforcing the conditioning that you picked up. And the dream is right in not giving you the time to reapply that conditioning. So that's really good, even though it makes you feel stressed. So now we look at what are the feelings you have that are brought up by the man looking in at you, by not being able to apply the conditioning, the stress that you talk about there. So whatever those feelings are you say also earlier that it's like feelings of feeling out of place, feeling exposed, wanting to hide your true nature, and wanting to be cool. I'm not sure if you mentioned that or not yet because I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah, she says, I begin to realize that it's not cool.
Okay, so all these things, they're what you've got to deal with. They're what you've got to wash away. The feelings, anything in life that brings up those feelings is bringing it up because it's come from your teenage years, and you need to now eliminate the negative things you picked up then so that you can go forward with your fantastic nurturing ability. So let's continue on.
So I nevertheless open the door and a puddle of water at my feet overflows. The car becomes pliable and like a flimsy child's pool overflows into the street.
Yeah, so the street in dreams is typically going to be about career. Traffic and streets are about career. And then here, actually, we talked about the articulated lorry earlier, or the semi. That's also career. So it's saying writing is a career. I forgot to make that link. So here it's saying that this conditioning affects your career today. That's what the link is.
So she says, I'm amazed at all the water in my car pouring out onto the street and still annoyed I did not use conditioner. Then next thing, I'm in my classroom. So I'm a 6th grade middle school teacher, and it's my classroom in the dream, but in reality, it's my middle school that I attended.
Okay, so again, the dream is showing how teenage years are affecting you today, because it's saying, look, even though you're doing this today, you're still dragging your middle school years with you.
It's Christmas Eve, and I'm super annoyed that we are at work still and that no one cares. There's a big meeting with lots of teachers I know and others I do not know. They're all in a circle. I'm trying to explain that Christmas Eve is just as important to me as Christmas Day, or something like that. Finally, I sneak out the back door. The classroom has 2 doors, one on one side, which I know is the back door, and at some point that is the door I go out of, acknowledging that it's not the front door.
Okay, so here, again, and maybe we'll leave it at this, the man, for instance, could also be present day. So this dream could be triggered by wanting, for instance, to change how you help or nurture somebody or the kids you teach, but you hold back because of fear of scrutiny. And the Christmas Eve thing is very good because what happens on Christmas Eve, we're ready to open our gift. So it's saying that dealing with this is bringing you to a point in life, or you're at a point in life now where they want you to open and start using some gifts that you have, but that you haven't really gotten into because of this conditioning that you've picked up. So it's asking you to clear this conditioning. Very easy for you to do because it's in your later years. It's not like going way back to childhood. And that's going to really help you in life. So it's a good dream overall. Particularly, like the best part is the fact that you're showering in public. So these gifts are going to be things you use in public. They're not like, oh, this is going to be me sitting in a room. And we're going to leave that dream at that. And thank you for sending it in. And we have a caller, but we're going to take an ad break first to get it out of the way. And then we'll pick up the call.
How clear is your vision for your life? Are you living on purpose, bringing your dreams to reality? I can help you to hear the quiet voice of your heart, guiding you in the right direction. I'm Susan Pullen with True Radiance Healing Arts. Let's talk about how you can create the life you want and be the person you were born to be. Contact me today at true-radiance.com.
Hello, this is Heidi. How can I help you?
You tell me. You're the psychic.
That's not how it works. I am a medium. I connect to your spirit guides and loved ones and pass on their messages to you.
So why did I call? Use the force, Heidi.
Look, I can get answers to any questions you ask. That's not a problem. They can be about anything: relationships, career, children, finances, anything.
Anything? Okay. What's my favorite color?
Dave, your mom says you're being childish.
For readings with Heidi, go to angelsontheline.com. Okay, listen up. This is important. Do you know your life purpose? Are you psychic? Do your dreams predict your future? Are you one of the X-Men? Your dreams give the answer to 3 of these questions. Find out which 3 by attending Michael Sheridan's Dream Workshop in Seattle on March 5th and 6th. Register at dream-analysis.com.
Feed your mind and your body and spirit will follow. Alternative Talk 1150.
So welcome back. You're listening to So You Think You're Awake with Michael Sheridan Heidi Brooke and Susan Pullen, the show all about dreams and their meanings. And Heidi, you wanted to add something to that last analysis?
Yeah, if the last analysis we did, if the dreamer is listening anyway, the fear she picked up is a fear of responsibility, just to pinpoint what it is. And whatever way her parents were able to or managed to make her think about what responsibility is, she picked up that conditioning and now thinks she has to wear that conditioning as a protective blanket in order to be a responsible adult.
Okay. All right. So we have April calling from Ohio. Hello, April. Are you still there?
I am. Thank you.
Thanks for
Hi.
waiting.
Not a problem. I enjoy listening to the show while I wait.
Okay. So you have, it says here, you have a dream question and a question for your guides.
I do, and it's on theme, but I was hoping Heidi could tune in a little bit.
Perfect.
For more details. I had a dream a while back. I've dreamt of books. You didn't mention that books necessarily are an indicator of a writing ability, but I had a dream one time that a girl I went to high school with, who happens to be blonde, was going to be interviewing my brother about writing a book, and he was nervous about it, and I thought it was a great idea, but I was kind of thinking of how I would be much better at the job than he would, and all of the reasons why I would be better. And there was more to that dream, but that is the most pertinent part.
Okay.
So I was wondering.
Books are generally going to be about your life, the book of your life, but they're also can indicate a counselling ability. So you have a counselling ability.
Okay.
And I think we've seen that before in other dreams that you've sent in. But we'll let Heidi take this piece up. But yes, I would say this is about writing.
Did you have a question related to that, or should I just ask them about the dream?
I wondered if it was about me writing a book at some point. Since he was being interviewed about writing a book, I wondered if that was literal or figurative.
I think it's more about they're saying, so Michael said the book of life, but looking at your book of life, looking at your life, you're being interviewed about this book, so you were supposed to, at the time anyway, to look at your life.
How old is the dream?
3 months.
3 months.
Yes.
And he's been interviewed about, okay, so interviews are usually reminding you about your life purpose, your mission. Like, we get interviewed before getting a slot on the planet, before we get a body. We, there aren't an infinite number here, so of births that can happen. So we have to, our life purpose has to dovetail in with other people's life purposes, and we basically have to audition and qualify to get a position here. So it's reminding you of that, and then, but it's also, I would say, writing in the book, and I'm looking at Heidi here as well, is going to be telling you that you create your own story.
Yeah, but the book was already written. So I think, well, what they're saying is it's everything that she's done up until now. She's to look at it. Anyway, that's their message. I always say that what they say and what the dreams specifically symbolize aren't
they're not always
related.
Yeah.
So,
they nearly always are, but they're not always, because the guides will tell you what's the most important thing for you to hear, and your dreams are going to cover what was the most important thing at that point.
Okay.
So they're not always the same. But have you been thinking about writing?
I think about it. I do. I don't know if it's the most important task, but I do wonder sometimes.
Well, if I was to pick up from what the guides are saying, then it's going to be about you looking at issues with your dad, because you've got a male in the dream, and usually male siblings will stand in for dad. So here, I didn't pick up that you had said the book was already written, then that would make a big difference. So here it's looking at what's already transpired, like going over that like a diary.
Okay.
So I hope that answers your questions.
It does. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
So, speaking of books.
Yes, Michael. So your book is about to come out, and it's called My Journey to Awakening, Lessons Shared to Amuse, Uplift, and Inspire You to Follow Your Life Purpose.
Isn't that a mouthful?
It is a little bit of a mouthful.
I have difficulties with marketing. That's the polite way of putting it. So I joined a group to help with that. And one of the best things that you can do is title the book appropriately so people know what it's about before you even open it. And so I thought I'd put the first chapter in the title.
I think it's a very apt title for it. When I was reading it, I was laughing out loud, and my boyfriend had to come upstairs from the other floor of our house to see what I was doing. That was so funny.
Yeah, so, everybody who's read it has said they got a good laugh out of it. So.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you more about that in a minute. But since we were talking this morning about dream symbols that indicate writing, were there dreams that you had that pointed the way for you that made you think you should be writing? I know this is your second book.
Yes. So I've had dreams since my first book. Like this dream, I had a dream in 2013 that showed me I should be still writing. But anybody who's ever written, well, not anybody, but most people who've written will tell you that it's a great way to lose money. You don't make money from writing a book. So I wrote a book. It took me 9 months. So that's 9 months of not working. All the hours that you put into writing in that period, it really takes a lot. But they're a creation. You write for yourself. You don't really write for anybody else. And so you end up, at least if you do it right, you end up with something that you're proud of. And so I was really, really proud of my first book, and still am. And but because it never made any money, quite the opposite. It wasn't a path I was keen to jump on again. So I have had a lot of dreams about writing, and one was very, very straightforward. It was a person. What was it? I've written this as if it's somebody else's dream because I put it on my blog. So in one night, I was writing my signature over and over again, and I was noticing how my signature improved as I was writing. And all I could see in the dream was the tip of the pen, and it was like a gold and silver pen. But the focus, it was like as if somebody had put a camera right up to where the tip of the pen touches the paper, and I was just writing Michael Sheridan over and over again. And what the dream was saying was, this is how you're going to make a name for yourself, is through writing. And of course, I already tried that one. So I didn't do anything with it except analyse the dream and go, there you go. You're meant to write. But then sometime later, I had another dream about writing. Well, I've had many, but ones that I decided, okay, these will be educational. So this one doesn't show me in a great light. And in this dream, I was driving my car in heavy traffic through a business area of the capital. So this is saying it's going to be a business related. Somehow I ended up facing a man who was drunk. He wasn't completely drunk, but had drunk enough to not be sober. He was standing under the cargo container of an articulated lorry. And of course, that's Irish parlance. So a semi. And so that's the symbol that I mentioned earlier. And I've had countless dreams where I'm on an articulated lorry that has no container. It's just open, which is asking me to be open to writing. And the container was somehow suspended in the air above his head. His pose was as if he was sword fighting, with one hand held up high, but holding a drink, and the other outstretched with a broken bottle pointing in my direction. And so this dream was saying how drinking alcohol, even though I wouldn't just to get to the point of not being sober, is enough to block my writing ability. So the dream was saying to me, look, you need to stop drinking because it blocks your writing ability. And it also affects my kidneys, which is what the broken bottle is going to be about. Of course, so the cargo, the articulated lorry above the guy's head, not my head, but above the guy's head in the dream is showing, because he's holding the drink under that, is showing how the alcohol is blocking the inspired writing. So there you go, warts and all, this show. And I don't drink now. So actually, I did stop drinking. I had that dream in June 2013, and I don't know if that's when I stopped. I stopped sometime after that, and I had not drank before. And interestingly enough, I didn't drink for 4.5 years when I wrote my first book. So I knew there was a connection there, and it's just like I do some of my best writing at nighttime, and if I go out with people and I have a drink, then when I come home, I'm useless for writing. So it's not about like, oh, you're in the pub all the time or anything like that. It's just this blocks you because it blocks the time that you're going to write. And so I realized that, and I don't drink again, which for me is easy to do. I find it easy to go out and not drink at all, but I find it hard to go out and just say I'm going to have one drink, because that bothers me. So whatever that says about me. Anyway, you have other things.
Yeah. So I think, I think it's cool, because we're on a show about dreams, just to point out how you follow through on the things that your dreams pointed out for you.
Well, yeah, not drinking is one. And actually starting to write. So this book, when I started writing it, so my guides clearly said it's to be a book about your story and my life. And it made no sense to me. Who would be interested in that whatsoever? And because it's like you're writing a biography and nobody knows about you, at least in America, nobody knows about you. And it's like, that seems absolutely strange, and conceited, if anything. Here I am writing about myself. But the shape that it took, even though the book is about me, it's really only about my spiritual experiences. And on my courses, people have always asked about those, and I indulge and talk about those on the courses, and people find them interesting. And so I knew there was an interest in that side of things. But I found when I was writing it, at the early stage, when the editor got a look at it, she said, there needs to be a takeaway. So somebody has to be reading this and say, okay, I got this out of the book. And you have to know what they're going to get out of the book. So I started writing in, the way she said it was, what's the lessons learned? So I started putting in under various sections as I'd write them, the lessons I learned. And my intention was that I was going to come back and look at those and go, okay, what's the takeaway from the book? And what I discovered when looking at it again was they're perfect in place. Leave them in place, because people can relate to what I learned at that period from the experience. So the book is littered with lessons learned in a kind of a humorous way at times.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't learn the lessons.
I know. I caught that too. Yeah. No, I love how it has the lessons learned bit, because it gives us a little peek into your mind and what you made of all this. And then hopefully it gives us a shortcut too. Hopefully it'll be easier for us reading it to shortcut some of those lessons for ourselves.
That's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely made it humorous because I think it's easier to read something if it's humorous, and it's not making light of a situation. It's making it's not making light of the content of the book in any way, but just things are kind of funny. You can say it in a kind of a funny way after the fact. And you said you were going to share the part that you were laughing at.
The part that it was the part when you had just woken up your wife at the time to tell her there was a spirit standing behind her with her hand in
her neck.
In her neck.
Yes.
So, and then you told her, oh no, it's okay, go back to sleep.
Okay, so what happened was we went to, so I had seen several spirits at this point, so that the awakening had already happened. But really what my awakening did was it prompted a lot of questions. It didn't give me answers to things. It prompted a lot of questions. And so I really started a journey of exploration at that point. And that's why I called it my journey to awakening, because I could see things, but I didn't know what I was seeing. So I had to learn. And so the book is my journey and my learning as I saw things and saw more things. And this was one of those things. So we thought for a while that the house we lived in Ireland was haunted. And of course, I went from, there's no such thing as spirits to, I have a haunted house because I'm seeing spirits. So that was fun in itself. But anyway, we went to Germany and visited a friend of mine. And when we went to bed, just shortly after going to bed, I noticed a spirit in the room, and I looked around to see where it was, and it had its hand in Marnie's neck, like below the skin. And I was looking at it. I wasn't afraid of it. I was kind of, alarmed, but I had already gotten used to it at this point. And what was interesting, though, was that this spirit saw me seeing it. Normally they're oblivious to us because it's like none of us can see them. So it copped on that I could see it, and then it hid. And that was really amusing, that it hid behind an alcove in the room, and it was looking out from around behind the alcove. And I find it amusing because, are spirits in the physical world or not? And here it is hiding behind an alcove. And then it happened to get across to me, that everything's okay, there's no problem here. And I knew the message was coming from the Spirit, and I just felt really sleepy and that it was okay to go back to sleep. And at this point, I had already woken Marnie up. So she's looking at me with eyes as wide as saucers. You could have read a book by the whites of her eyes in a totally dark room. And so I've totally panicked her. And then I'm saying, oh, it's okay to go back to sleep. But she thought it was somebody physical was behind her going to harm her in some way. But it was just kind of funny with the way it happened, you know. As I'm drifting off, the last thing I see is her eyes so wide and panicking them. And I'm like, and I still go asleep. So I got it the next day.
I bet you did. I also love how you've really, like, this is not a book that rambles on, you know, and then when I was 14, blah, blah, you know, it's like you've just gone straight for the really pithy parts and just trimmed out all the fluff around it. Yeah. And so it really moves very quickly.
Moves at a pace.
It's a great read, actually. It's a great read.
Thanks.
So you mentioned the lessons learned part. So I was wondering, in pulling the book together and in reviewing all those parts of your life and having to pull the lesson out and articulate it, did you get any new insight, perspective?
Yes, I'm slow. It was kind of funny. That's a joke. But yes, I was certainly slow to see some of the things. A few of them even. But what I realized was that there was one person instrumental in almost everything that was major in my life. And I didn't notice it till I was writing the book, and I call her the puppet master in the book, and it's my sister-in-law Bernie. And it was really, it wasn't a surprise to see it, but yet I was surprised I hadn't seen it before, because she was involved in so many things, and it was like she went through a lot of the things that I was interested in. She was involved in the spiritual field because of seriously bad health, and so she was like a year ahead of me in exploring things, and she filtered an awful lot of things through to me that were very important for my journey. But it wasn't just that. She didn't just do that. She would recommend this person or that person and point out who was significant. And I didn't realize till I had written the book how significant her direction was in my life. And then I realized, oh, there's a good few people are that way, but she stood out from everybody else.
That's cool. So what's next for you now that the book is done?
Yeah, so I've discovered my guides. I went to Canada just before finishing the book, and they made very clear that you just focus on the present, you focus on what's now. So I jokingly say they have a telescope that can see 5 feet ahead. And so,
very clear telescope.
So I've opened that door. What do I do now? And there's a whole ritual to connect again. So what I'm doing now is I'm working on a dream interpretation course that is bite-sized. That people can look at 10-minute segments, kind of like documentary style. But it's going to be the whole thing, everything that I do on my courses and talk about in my book. But I'm going to get people to sign up to that and get lifetime access for it. And so I'll be looking for people to join it and help me proof it as I do it in the early stages. Because it's also going to help me prepare for doing video and TV. I mean, I've done lots of TV, but it's very different when you're doing something yourself and you can pause and rewind and fix. You know, when it's live, it's very different. You approach things very differently. But that's what I'm getting into now. So we're ripping a bedroom out of the house that's connected to the classroom and turning it into a sound room and video room. So we're going to have to try block out the sound of airplanes taking off on the lake and crows that definitely want to be captured in every advert I've ever done.
Yeah. A soothing sound of crows.
Yes. So that's it. That's it for me. But I mean, right now it's the launch phase of the book, so I'm very excited about that. And it's interesting though how the guide said write about this, and yet I did write about that, but it wasn't the book I thought I was going to be writing. So it's interesting. And I did discover that when I was writing before, that it's not always going to be about what you think you're writing about. And I've learned to go with the flow, go with what's coming, rather than what I think I need to write. And I'm aware we have a caller. We have Rebecca on the line, but we need to take another ad break, and we will go straight to Rebecca after that. Okay, listen up. This is important. Do you know your life purpose? Are you psychic? Do your dreams predict your future? Are you one of the X-Men? Your dreams give the answer to 3 of these questions. Find out which 3 by attending Michael Sheridan's Dream Workshop in Seattle on March 5th and 6th. Register at dream-analysis.com.
How clear is your vision for your life? Are you living on purpose, bringing your dreams to reality? I can help you to hear the quiet voice of your heart, guiding you in the right direction. I'm Susan Pullen with True Radiance Healing Arts. Let's talk about how you can create the life you want and be the person you were born to be. Contact me today at true-radiance.com.
Hello, this is Heidi. How can I help you?
You tell me. You're the psychic.
That's not how it works. I am a medium. I connect to your spirit guides and loved ones and pass on their messages to you.
So why did I call? Use the Force, Heidi.
Look, I can get answers to any questions you ask. That's not a problem. They can be about anything: relationships, career, children, finances, anything.
Anything? Okay. What's my favorite color?
Dave, your mom says you're being childish.
For readings with Heidi, go to angelsontheline.com.
Body, mind, and spirit. Alternative Talk 1150 covers it all.
Welcome back to So You Think You're Awake with Michael Sheridan, Susan Pullen and Heidi Brooke. Our show is about dreams and their meaning, and our phone number is 425-373-5527. And just before we go to Rebecca, Heidi has chastised me yet again. I don't think she understands how parental relationships work. So the name of the book is My Journey to Awakening, and you can get it for free this Sunday. If you go to dream-analysis.com and sign up there, you'll get a link sent to you on Sunday that tells you how to get it. So, Rebecca, I hope you're still there on the line.
I am. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thanks for waiting. So you have a question for Heidi?
Yes, I do. So I love listening to the show and listening and learning about everybody's dreams. And my question is in relationship to my dreams. I've had very vivid dreams all of my life. Many of them in whole or in part have come true. And it's always been very precious to me. And then in the last, I think about 2 years or so, the dreams started becoming fewer and fewer until I rarely remember anything from a dream at all. And I really sincerely grieve having that. And so I'm wondering what is creating that shift.
Can you recall in the last 2 years what physical changes you have made in terms of what you've put in your body, medication-wise or otherwise?
You know, I've actually, in the last 4 years, had a really positive transformation with my life. Just everything. My previous life sort of fell apart, and that was wonderful. I love my life right now, and I'm in good health. I don't take any medication. I sleep really well. You know, I'm enjoying my career. I enjoy my family more. You know, I just like my life is very happy, but
you're just not remembering the dreams.
I'm not. Yeah, and I just missed that.
Yeah. And so what they're saying is, it's something that you're putting into your body, whether that be food, vitamins, supplements, medication, birth control. It's something like that.
Huh.
That is affecting, is that part of the brain?
Well, you know, it'll be enough if they'll push a dream through if you really want, and it might give you an indication. But the other thing is, if you said you're enjoying your sleep, but if you're not getting enough sleep, that's usually the most common reason to not remember your dreams. But if you're getting enough sleep and you're waking up refreshed, are you waking up refreshed?
Sometimes. I don't know. I probably do need more sleep overall.
It's the biggest reason. And you're saying it correctly. You're not remembering them. It's not that you're not having them. And we tend to only remember the dreams that we have just before we wake up, when we wake up refreshed. And a way to get them back, if you're not going to be able to get more sleep, is to set your alarm clock, say, for 45 minutes before you need to get up and go back to sleep. So if you have an alarm clock that has two times you can put on it, and that'll give you a much lighter sleep, and you will remember dreams in the second piece. Because people have often said to me that they don't remember their dreams, and then when I ask, when you go on holidays, do you remember your dreams? When you go on vacation? And they do. And the only difference is getting more sleep. And you know, that we're not having to get up early. But another thing that's important to realise is if you have a strong connection with your guides, if you can channel, then you can shortcut what you're going to get from your dreams anyway. So it doesn't mean you won't dream. Like Heidi has vivid dreams. She almost always wakes up and says, I have a dream. Yet she can find out from her guides what she's meant to be doing. But what I'm saying is dreams aren't the only way you're going to get the messages that you need to get. So just be aware of that too.
Yeah, that's true.
And your guide's advice there is to just scrutinize everything that you're eating. You know, really look at your diet. Are you putting something in your body that could be upsetting your system? And it doesn't have to be a hugely adverse reaction physically. Are you using oils? Like, really what they're showing me is essential oils, though they're not saying it's specifically an essential oil that you're using. It could be something that you're taking, like, rose leaf or something like that, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I haven't taken any rose leaf. In the last 2 years, I have been exposed to more essential oils than I think I was before. And
essential oils do like affect our physical body for good, and and they can upset it too. So really take a look at that. You don't need essential oils to enhance your ability to remember your dreams or your spirituality. They can help, but you specifically, they're saying you don't need to use those. So if you are, in order to help you remember, along with Michael's advice, help you remember your dreams again, take a break from that.
So should I try to make my room more of a scent-free environment? Yeah.
Yes. Is it incense you're burning?
It's mostly incense that gets burned in our household. Yeah. Yeah,
and they do have they will affect your brain and your brain chemistry. So I would just avoid that for a while and see what difference it makes, as well as getting enough sleep. And
then you will find too, typically I find that it's one particular strain that causes the problem.
I keep hearing rose hip. I don't know if that's one particular one you're using, but I would steer away from anything that has rose in the name anyway.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for your call.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your insights.
All right. So let's have a look at another dream.
This one is called Cornerstones. I had a dream that I was in a beautiful park with green grass and trees. I saw that there were 2 natural-shaped rocks that were marked with writing on them, indicating they are to be cornerstones for a school that will be built there. Then in my dream, I was thinking, if there's going to be a school built here, then I'll apply to work there as a teacher. Okay,
so this one is deliberately picked because it's about writing. And so the dreamer is a writer. She's a teacher, and she's going to teach others through her writing. And the way to do it is through her heart chakra, and that's what the green grass and trees and the beautiful park are all about, because green is the colour of the heart chakra. So it's going to be, I would say, channeled writing, or at least intuitive. So it's coming from your higher self, if not your guides. And this is going to be the cornerstone of further work that you do. So it's really important for you to do this. So it's like, what's the next step on your path? This is all the next steps on your path. It's not, you can't skip this one and do anything else that you're meant to do. You must do this one. And because like the dream says, the writing is the cornerstone to building your teacher training. So I think you're going to actually have a center where people go and see you and all that sort of stuff. So nice dream. Well done, you.
Okay, so this is called The Glass Dome and Fighting Infection. I'm standing out in a green field. It's a green field kind of day. I'm standing out in a green field and it's raining. I don't feel any of the rain because I'm standing under a glass dome. I see the rain falling on the dome and sliding down the sides. The dome is tall enough for me to stand in and 8 feet in diameter. I walk along the circumference of the dome, feeling around for a door. I find the door and push it open and step outside. The rain feels nice as it falls on me.
Okay, so that's the first part. And this says that the dreamer has a strong psychic ability because of the dome. And it's an interesting symbol because it's quite small. It's not, you're going to feel cramped in this. It's only 8 feet in diameter. But we have the grass, the green field, and the colour. Both are about the heart chakra. The 8 feet in diameter is about the heart chakra. And, the heart chakra is the only balanced chakra. You give and take from the heart chakra. And it's how we expand ourselves. And that's what 8 is about in dreams. So this is about balanced expansion. So all about balance. And you're feeling around for the door. This is like a birth. And Heidi, in fact, you got this bit. It's birth into the spirit world, you could say, or into something spiritual. She's nodding.
It's birth into becoming aware.
Yeah. So, and also I like, it's all about the heart, and you say you're feeling around for the door. That's beautiful in the dream, because that's what you're meant to do. When you're using your heart chakra, it's use your intuition, follow your feelings, and your feelings are going to lead you to the opportunity that creates this opening for you. And that's what the door represents, as an opening. So what's the next bit?
I walk to a friend's house. There's a gathering of friends and family, and I see my father there. He's standing in a wheelchair.
Sitting.
Right. That would make more sense. Sorry. He's sitting in a wheelchair, which is not uncommon since his stroke a few years ago. I notice he has a small wound on his right hand, about the size of a mosquito bite. I take some hydrogen peroxide and pour it on the wound. It bubbles a little at first and then expands and turns into a geyser of yellow bubbling foam. The foam overflows onto my father's knees and feet. I keep taking white paper napkins to mop it up. After using a lot of napkins, the foam is all cleaned up and his wound is gone. He hugs me and says, "Thanks for taking care of that."
Okay, so really just the important part of this is that you, in the dream, are dealing with the issues with your dad. And again, Heidi, when you saw this, when you said she's finished. So
the karma between herself and her father is finished. So now she can just enjoy the relationship.
And her digestive system is going to heal as a result. And that's what we see in the dream here. The yellow bubbling foam and all that. And the wound's gone. But anyway, that's the main thing. That you've dealt with the wounds, and they're small. It says small wounds. It's not that the wounds are small. It brings you back to when you're small. That's the way the dreams do these things. So that's really good. So we see the two together saying, because you've dealt with the issues with your dad or got some healing on that or whatever you've done, you've now created an opportunity for yourself to step into this other way of being, which is definitely go for this one. Don't do anything whatsoever that would hold you back from finding this door and going through it. Feeling for the door. That's the best way. I love how you put it yourself in the dream. And I'm looking at the time now and realizing we don't have much time. So, yeah, the next one's short.
Okay. In the dream, I dreamt that I woke up at 9:15. There was no panic or lateness around it. I smiled. And then when I really woke up, it was 5:29, not 9:15.
Okay, so that's really good. Waking up in a dream is probably one of the best symbols that you can have, to actually have a dream where you wake up in the dream. And it's about becoming aware. I mean, we call this show So You Think You're Awake because there is so much more going on. There are more spirits in this room than there are physical agents. And we think that we are in control of the planet when we're really not in a lot of ways. And we're in control of our lives when we're not in a lot of ways, because our higher self is really what dictates what's going on, and our guides create the opportunities for us, and so on and so on. And it's our job to get into alignment with that and live the life that we're meant to live. Anyway, your dream, I digressed completely there because I'm trying to be fast. It says you're an advanced soul with an individual karmic path, and that's what the 9:15 is about. So it's a kick in the butt type of dream that says, live the life that you came here to live. You have an individual path that's for you, that is your karmic path, that is your way of you increasing your awareness. But it's a very good dream because it's showing that you're waking up to that. So that's it for this week. I want to say thanks to our engineer and producer, Eric Ryder. Thanks to Heidi. Thanks to Susan. And remember, get my book on dream-analysis.com. Enter your email address in there and send your dreams to radioShow show@dream-analysis.com. And we'll leave you with this quote: when you realise nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.